All right, this is assignment 4 video. So for assignment 4, first step is to have our import statements, then our parameters for this assignment. I also had the assignment tutorial used Alice.txt. So I also had this text file from previous class last semester. So I just used it as well. Um, to generate the string 20 characters. So first we have to load our data, which we do here, and then we create a valid string characters by saying valid underscore characters equals string dot ASCII letters, ASCII underscore letters, plus punctuation plus string dot digits. Next, we create dictionaries to convert characters to digits and digits to characters. So we have these two arrays, and we have a for loop that iterates through the valid characters array or the valid character string. And for basically, we say that character equals the valid character at a position, character to int equals character at equals basically the index number of the character. And then we say for int to characters, we say that the index equals character. So next we create the training string uh, clean that will be cleaned using our valid characters. So we have training string equals and blank string. Um, then we iterate for every character in data. If the character is a valid character, then training string equals, or then the character is added to the training string. If not, then that means it's null, so space. So it's just a space that's added. And then we clean up the data um, and make sure there's no like double spaces. So we just use that with this if statement here. Next, we move on to creating a target string by shifting the input by one character to the left. So as you see, character shifted to the left. Your left to that, my left to that way. Yeah. So next we have a set of valid characters. So we just define alphabet equals and then alphabet, and then we use this to create dictionaries. See, alphabet. We have a dictionary of character to int and int to character. And as you see, they're kind of inverse of each other. So next we have the sequence length equals 1, which would be the length of the input sequence, and we just want to be one character at a time. And we have the data X array and data Y array, one to store input sequences and the other to store corresponding target characters. And finally, we loop through the alphabets to create an input-output pairs. So we do that with this for loop um, for sequence and alphabet at I plus sequence length. Basically, here we're extracting the input sequence, then we get the next character. Then we basically convert the input characters to integers and convert the output character into an integer. Then finally print the result so that we can see. So here it is working. Um, next, we um, basically need to initialize training and testing arrays to be appended to. So we just have array X and array Y, and we use a for loop to iterate through the size of the sequence length. And in this for loop, we basically take a string and split it from um, index I to I plus, and then add the sequence length. Then we change the character to a number or integer. So we just use character to int for here. Then we inst in, instant instantiate the zero array from one hot encoding. We basically just say input underscore sequence equals np dot zero, sequence length of valid characters. Um, and we just have this if statement here to make sure that um, the character sequence is equal to the sequel length to this, yeah, sequence length. Keep saying sequence um, for each. And so we have this if statement. And so if true for each j, we basically just iterate through the sequence length input sequence j um, or integer training sequence. We have this. So then we append the character to x. So then this is basically same as what we do for same as what we do for up here. Same as what we do for above, and only we do it for y instead of x. So then you see after we're done, we append y, and then we are able to reshape the arrays into the correct dimensionality. So np dot reshape and np dot reshape, and so then it just prints uh, the whole book, as you see. That's pretty much everything in that file. So next, we have our model. We're training our model here. So we have model.add, and we're adding our layers here. And then model.add hidden layers or hidden diminished layers. Model.add, and then we compile it down here. And then finally, we're able to have a function that generates text. And so we have generate text or model.length. This is to generate the sequence, the function that we use to generate the sequence. So we have xi equals np.random.radians, length valid characters, and x underscore character or y character equals int characters at xi minus 1. Then we have x equals np zeros, so length 1 length and length of valid characters. Then we just have for I in range of length. Then as you see here, we have this, and then we print the integer character at xi minus 1, and then end it with a space, and then print new line, and then return. Finally, here we have generate length, and we're basically making sure that we are able to train the model with this. So running this code, you see that all the epochs and all the layers are running, and the model is training. And finally, we get down to here, where all we need to do is just say generate length equals 20, and then we use the function as above to say generate model or generate using model and the generate length. So it runs through 20, and here it is, the full sequence of 20 characters, just to be a long to. It's kind of nonsensical, but a nonsensical sentence, but it is a sentence at least with using proper words. All right, this ends the video.